Hi, Samantha. Thank you so much for taking the time to come today. My name is Mackenzie. I will be your dietitian. A little bit about myself. I've been working in the field for just a couple of months now, but I actually would like to get to know you. So, would you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a grad student and I'm applying to the dietetics program. Actually, just got accepted.
Wonderful.
They already sent out emails.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm super excited and just been going to school and working. That's pretty much all I do.
That's good. No, that's great to know. So, being in the dietetics program, obviously, you're really involved in nutrition and the nutrition of others. That's great because hopefully this will be a little bit of a good jump off point. Can you tell me a little bit about your diet then and kind of what you like to eat, typical foods, an average breakfast for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much, I like to say I'm vegetarian, but sometimes I do eat meat if I don't prepare it. I'm just really picky about meat.
Yeah.
I eat mostly fruits and vegetables and a lot of whole grains. I try to eat set meals, but sometimes I work through lunch.
Okay.
The typical breakfast is either the kefir yogurt, because it's lactose free, and I don't really like lactose.
Do you from a big jar or do you have the little individual ones?
It's the big one.
The big jar. Can
Yeah,
you approximate how much you eat when you eat that?
Probably it's probably 1 cup, 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup.
Okay, on average.
With, on average,
Okay.
3/4 cup to 1 cup
Perfect.
with probably half a cup of frozen fruit.
Okay.
And then I put 2 heaping tablespoons of, what is that stuff called? Ground flaxseed.
Flaxseed. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a typical breakfast for you.
Yeah, either that or oats with fruit.
Or oats.
And
with
oats
fruit.
would be probably about a cup to a cup and a half cooked.
Cooked.
And I switch between those depending on. Usually in the winter, if it's cold, I have something hot. And then
Okay.
summer, I have cold.
When you make your oats, do you make them with water or with milk?
Water.
Water. And do you use steel cut oats, rolled oats?
Old fashioned.
The old fashioned.
Old fashioned rolled
Right.
oats.
And same thing with fruit on those, or do you put anything else?
It would generally be a banana.
Banana.
The medium.
Yeah. Perfect. And you vary between those two?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Can we talk about lunch now? What's a typical lunch look like for you?
I usually pack lunch to go, so they're non-perishable or easy refrigeratable items.
Okay.
Like, I'll bring a piece of fruit, like an apple or an orange, and then vegetables. Usually, I almost always have carrots.
Okay. Fresh or cooked vegetables?
Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, raw, fresh. Carrots, usually some bell peppers, broccoli, and then like crackers or nuts with dried fruit or something. And then with those veggies, I usually have probably like 3 or 4 tablespoons of hummus.
Okay.
Because that's where I'm generally getting bulk of my calories from that.
Do you know what brand hummus you use typically?
It is it's not Athenos. It's one with the red.
Oh, is it Sabra? Yeah.
And it's original.
Perfect. So now, fresh carrots, about how many peppers kind of do you bring them in a certain container that you can kind of give me a size for, or quantity amounts of those?
I usually bring in a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
And baby carrots, I would say around 10. It's a really big handful.
Okay, so around 10 baby carrots,
Yeah.
big handful. Perfect. What about peppers?
The mini bell peppers that come in that Ziploc thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 4 or 5 mini ones.
Perfect. Okay, and broccoli.
Like half a head to a head of broccoli.
Okay. Perfect. So for lunch, it's safe to say that you always bring at least one fresh fruit, whether it be an apple or an orange,
Mhm.
and then you always bring raw vegetables,
Yeah.
essentially to fill a gallon Ziploc. Does that sound about right, or is it one of the quart Ziplocs?
I put the entire lunch in the big Ziploc,
Okay.
and then I have 2 small ones. One small one for the veggies, and then one small one for like the sandwich size.
Got
for
it.
like crackers or nuts and dried fruit.
Okay, perfect.
But I kind of snap. Like some of those turn into
Snacks.
Mhm.
Okay, so
But-
lunch and snacks could kind of go together
Yeah,
in
because I
one
don't really
category.
make a full lunch meal usually.
Perfect.
I have like 3 or 4 snacks that I'll eat.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about crackers, nuts, dried fruits.
Okay.
Brands of crackers that you typically enjoy?
I don't know.
Is
I don't
there
know the brand.
anything?
I know one of the my go-tos is the Nut Thins.
The Nut Thins? Okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Another one is I get like these weird earthy crackers from like the co-op or
Okay.
Rosars or something. So they're I don't know. It's not like Triscuits or something.
Okay, perfect. So do you typically go for more whole grain crackers and?
Yeah, the multi-grain.
Okay.
I think one of the brands is called Mary's crackers. Those are at
Mary's.
Rosars.
And do you fill that Ziploc bag with it?
No,
or
it's
half
about a
full?
handful.
A handful, okay. Perfect. So nuts. What nuts do you typically bring? Is it a mix? Is it individual nuts? Do you have preferences for one over the other?
I usually buy the thing at Costco that has the almonds, cashews, peanuts, and it has packs of them. But when I run out of the pack, I'll do a handful of my own.
Okay.
And those are salted, but if I do it by myself, they're unsalted.
Dried fruits. Where do you get those? Which ones do you prefer?
Dried fruits, usually raisins or craisins or dried fruit. I think that's it. Raisins or
Okay.
craisins.
Raisins or craisins. And approximate how much?
Probably a handful.
Handful. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so dinner.
Dinner.
And this obviously may vary, but
Yeah.
give me an approximate kind of, or even like 2 typical dinners you've had in the past week.
2 typical dinners in the past week. If I'm at work, I have a salad with grilled chicken.
What kind of lettuce is on that salad?
Unfortunately, it's iceberg.
Iceberg. And can you approximate an amount for me, or give me a size of plate that it's normally on? So like a 9-inch, 10-inch dinner plate.
Yeah.
Okay. And
With, like-
full heaping or
Yes.
okay, perfect. So like kind of like it covers an inch of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably 1 chicken breast of grilled chicken.
Okay.
And that usually has tomatoes. And then I put pico de gallo on top. And I don't put dressing or anything. Or cheese.
Perfect. Fresh tomatoes?
Yes.
And about how many
Diced.
fresh tomatoes diced?
Quarter cup maybe.
Quarter cup. And the pico de gallo, about how much do you put on?
2 tablespoons.
And any dressing besides that?
No.
No. Okay.
It was
Perfect.
just sausage dressing.
And so that's your work dinner.
That's my work dinner. So then my non-work dinner is usually some form of either brown rice or quinoa. And then I put in either spinach or kale. And whole beans or tuna, depending on the day. But I switch back and forth between all of those in a combination.
Okay, perfect. So brown rice, quinoa, do you cook up a big batch and eat a little bit every time, or do you cook the new quinoa every
I'll
time?
cook a batch that will last like 4 days.
Okay, and do you know how much rice or quinoa you used to start with when you cook that batch?
I don't know how much. 2 cups dry
2 cups dry.
will last me about 4 days.
Okay, perfect. And about how much spinach or kale would you put into that?
Like 2 giant handfuls.
2 giant handfuls. And water, chicken stock, vegetable stock. What do you use to cook? Water. And any seasoning, salt, pepper, cayenne, cumin.
Pepper.
Perfect. And then you said whole beans or tuna. Do you put that in there with it? So it's kind of like a casserole type thing, or do you add them afterwards?
After. Yeah.
Okay,
so I'll make
perfect.
the rice, and then when it's halfway done cooking, I'll add in the greens.
Got it.
Then at the end, I'll do tuna or beans, whichever I have a can of.
Okay.
So it would be
perfect.
like the 1 can of tuna in
Okay.
water. Or it would be like 1/4 of a can of either black beans, garbanzo beans, kidney beans, whatever I have.
Okay. Perfect. And that 1/4 of a can goes for the whole 4-day meal, or just your
the day.
night? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. And then do you take any supplements, vitamins, minerals, health drinks, anything like that?
No.
No. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to go back through all of this with you, and you can kind of, if you think of anything else, or no, that's not right, it's about this amount, just let me know. So right now for breakfast, I have that you kind of alternate between either oats or kind of a yogurt. The yogurt's always a lactose-free kefir yogurt, and you do about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup with about 1/2 of a cup of fruit that's frozen, right? And then what kinds of fruit do you normally do for that?
Frozen mango and blueberry, sometimes blackberry.
Do you just pick one, or do you do multiples?
Multiple.
So you kind of put,
I'll put, to satisfy, what did I say, like 1/2 cup of fruit?
Yeah.
I'll do different ratios just depending on
Okay.
the day.
perfect. And then 2 tablespoons of ground flax.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then for the oats, it's about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of cooked. And they're old fashioned, you use water, and then usually add a whole banana that's about medium to that. Is there any other addition you make to that?
No.
No, just that. Okay,
Just that.
perfect.
But I always have coffee with breakfast.
Coffee with breakfast.
Always.
And
So that's
about how much? Black? Do you put anything in your coffee? Black.
a lot. A lot. I feel that it's 1/2 pot of coffee. So like to the 6.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
1/2 cup to the 6 cup mark.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And you'll drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 2 really big mugs.
Okay, perfect. 2 big mugs worth. Okay, and then for lunch, you kind of do a rotation, but you always have at least 1 fruit that's either a medium-sized apple or an orange. Vegetables, raw. You always have carrots, peppers, and broccoli, you said. And then for the carrots, you said about 10, like a big handful of the baby carrots. For the peppers, you said use those mini bell peppers, about 4 to 5. And then the broccoli, you said a 1/2 head to a whole head. And then you always have the hummus with it, about 1/4 cup of hummus.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the savory
1/4 of a cup.
Yeah, like
Is that 3?
yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
3 to 4 tablespoons is around 1/4 cup.
Got it.
And then you said crackers, nuts, dried fruits. Do you always have a variety of those, or do you kind of pick one over the other?
Pretty much always have a variety of those so that I have a snack
Okay,
if necessary.
Okay.
So I'll bring both.
perfect. And then for crackers, you said you like the Nut Thins, the Mary's ones from Rose Hours, and you generally bring a handful of those. Okay, perfect. Nuts, you said you do the Costco packs that they have. That's kind of the almond cashew pack.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then when you run out, you have your own mix that you use. Okay, and then for dried fruits, raisins or craisins, and usually about a handful.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. For dinner, if you're at work, how often do you work?
Like 1 or 2 nights a week. But that was just on the top of my head because I worked last night.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need to know. And then on your non-working nights, you usually have some sort of whole grain of brown rice quinoa mixed with some sort of dark leafy green. And then I've got that you start for like a 4-day batch with 2 cups of dry Perfect. And then 2 giant handfuls. This is not gonna fly. Sorry, Dr. Brown. But then you always add either whole beans or tuna or something afterwards.
some
Okay, perfect.
protein source.
And about a quarter of a can for dinner. And then just pepper's the only spice that you use.
Yeah, I eat everything really plain.
Okay, no, that's great. So what about, and no supplements. So what about liquids with this? Do you drink a lot of water? Do you drink more coffee throughout the day? Do you drink smoothies? Do you drink milk at all?
Sometimes before I go to bed, I'll have probably 12 ounces of almond milk, but that's maybe twice a week. If I'm just extra hungry or something.
Okay.
But it's almond milk. I don't do it. Lots and lots of water. At least,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I drink a gallon or more a day.
A gallon or more a day.
Yeah. And then I might have one more 12-ounce coffee at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And that's still black plain coffee.
Perfect. Okay, I think this is giving me a really good look at your 20, kind of like a 24-hour recall without you having to really remember. I like the idea of getting multiple days kind of a thing. So the next step, what I'm going to really do is I'm going to look through this and kind of get sort of a very, very limited nutrient analysis.
Okay.
From there, I'd love to meet with you again and talk to you about it and kind of get some more background, especially since you're in grad school and you kind of said that that's what you do, grad school and work.
Right.
So it kind of would appear to me that you might be very busy is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So this will be good to kind of talk about and see what we can do with that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me at all, or is there anything you'd like to know from my perspective? Good. Great. Well, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, I will get back to you on this.
Perfect.
Perfect.